women are afraid, particularly older women, as you're getting beyond your 30s, you know, you've sort of been this sort of energetic 20-year-old, I'm independent, I can do it myself, and now you're in your 30s and you're feeling more independent. That's all masculine energy. Nothing wrong with it as long as it's balanced with feminine energy. But often you don't have the support in your life to bring you back to feminine. Feminine side of you is relationship oriented, it's emotional, it's vulnerable, it's intuitive, it's receptive. These are, and here's the big word, dependent. Oh my gosh, I can't be dependent on someone. Are you kidding? Why would I want to be with you if you don't need me for something? Now, I'm not saying be weak and wimpy dependent, but needing a man. You know, if you're hungry, you need food, right? And so I give you food, you're really happy. So that's what real vulnerability is. Everybody talks about vulnerability is oh, I'm so hurt, I'm so sensitive, I'm so gloom and doom. No, vulnerability is I'm so happy you're here. Okay, that's vulnerability. Because see, when you have a need, then when somebody fulfills that need, and that's what love is. Love is the acknowledgement. One aspect of love is that it acknowledges that you are just what I need. Oh my God, who doesn't want that? That's particularly what men want. Women want it, men want it, and need it about 10 times more. That's it. And women need, and they don't always know this, and particularly independent women don't know this, what they need is a greater awareness of what's going on inside themselves. So to summarize all this, my favorite technique for women, and I kind of hinted at it, and too much information. As you get a little more intimate in a relationship, closer with a man, I don't mean sex. I'm telling you, slow down on the sex thing. You just basically, these guys, they all think they're entitled to sex because women are giving it out, okay? It's kind of like, well, that woman had no problem. She gave me head the first day. What's the big deal here, you know? And it's like, you know, you just go slow with it. That's it. Go slow. He has to earn his way in, so to speak. But really, it's getting to know you, and you're getting to know him, and you're feeling safe with him. And he's, you know, seems like a really good guy. You like him a lot. You find him interesting. He's curious, and your heart is open to him. Then your body really wants him to connect more on a physical level. What I see is that women have very low self-esteem. Who feel very insecure. They get with a guy and they feel like unworthy inside. Oh, why would he love me? I'm an awful person. And so therefore I'll do whatever he wants, and I'll do whatever he wants, and then he'll love me. And that could all be subconscious. That's called low self-esteem. And so suddenly you become seductive and sexual, and I'll give it out, and look at me and all that. This is all very low self-esteem. Now, not all women who put out like that have low self-esteem. They're just looking at the competition. I mean, they're really just looking around like men expect it. And it's hard when men are expecting it and everybody else is giving it out to feel like you've got value and being true to yourself, which is go slow with this thing and let it unfold one layer after another, after another, after another. Let there be a relationship that grows in intimacy as opposed to expecting it right away. It's like a seed in the garden. It doesn't turn into a plant overnight. You have to water it and nurture it and take care of it. Then it grows. It gets a little bigger, 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 bigger. Let that happen. So I'm a big fan of going slow. You know, if I was talking to other guys, I wouldn't talk this much about it. They feel like I'm betraying them. But ironically, a lot of guys today that I know, more and more in their 50s, they're kind of saying, wait a second, I'm going to go a little slow here too. Because they're not just a younger man. This is part of sexuality in men, is we have a life force, and that life force has to flow in different ways. And the more accomplishment you have, the more cultured you are, meaning there's different outlets for your creativity, then that energy can flow in different ways. But when you're immature and you don't have a lot of confidence, you don't have a lot of different ways to express yourself, sexuality is a way the most primitive brain can express that aliveness and so forth. So these younger guys are all into having sex. So here's your phrase to use, magic phrase for men who want it and you're not ready to give it. And you don't want it yet, really. That's the key, is you do it when you want to do it. Authenticity. So at this point, and of course, authenticity doesn't mean, well, I'm authentically insecure, so I'm going to do this. No. Authenticity is that, I've got this immature, insecure part of me. I'm not going to indulge it. I'm a higher being. I've got more awareness here. I have some wisdom in my life. So here you are with some wisdom, knowing from past experiences that jumping into bed doesn't always work for you. Then that's your authentic message. You can just say to a guy, he's making the moves, is, oh yeah, I need to slow down now. And you kind of go, he goes, why? Don't you want it? Oh yes, every cell in my body wants it, but it just hasn't worked out for me. And I just need to go slow. I hope you can respect that. What can he say? And then what you said in that phrase, I just want to point out, being a man, is he'll hear that one little thing, every cell in my body wants to have sex with you. He goes, okay, I did it. And they're just looking for the recognition that you want to have sex with them. Men so much want to feel that they're wanted. It's a needy thing. But if they don't earn that, then they become weak and they lose commitment and so forth. It has to be when you truly are ready, because you want to do it because he's a wonderful guy and you want to share more of your life with him and he's special and so forth. Then you're willing to share all of who you are with him. Because when you have sex, it's very different for men and women. When a man has sex, men can be turned on to tons of women that I'm not even interested. I mean, God, look at this. A guy can look at all the internet porn. He would never, ever, after having a conversation with any of those women, would ever want to talk to her again. But he'll have sex with her once, and that's the system that they found, is that men don't go back. Okay, if they have sex right away, they move on to the next. They move on to the next. And why is that? Because first of all, they'll have sex with anybody practically. But the second thing is, it's less known, is that when a man has sex, it's very intimate for him. He gets really close. Suddenly his oxytocin levels increase 5 times. And oxytocin inhibits testosterone. So that's why he goes to sleep. That's why he tends to pull away after sex. He can't breathe. You know, there's a tendency of withdrawing. Whenever men withdraw, it's they're needing to rebuild testosterone. They're trying to pull away from the influence of estrogen. And so it's a natural process. So let men pull away. Encourage them to pull away. Don't rush the closeness. Instead, send text messages of pictures of you being happy without him. And that's counterintuitive for women. They think that, oh, if I'm showing him I'm happy without him, he'll think I don't love him that much. I mean, some women actually think that. And on a deeper level, maybe many more feel that way, which is when he's in his cave, when he's pulled away, I should be unhappy. I should be missing him. I should be sorry. Because if a woman is pulling away, she wants to feel like he's missing you and I can't live without you. And what do I have to do to get you open again? That makes you feel all special. When a guy pulls away, the best thing, and some of these needy guys, I write about them in Conscious Men, they're more in touch with their female side. So one part of them is saying, well, how could you go out and have a good time? You ignore that message. Ignore his female side. You're strong in your female side. Hey, I'm not just about having a relationship with my life. I have a life. You know, you're dessert. I mean, really look at men as dessert. Don't make them the main meal. If you make a man the main meal in your life, you're regressing back to these traditional relationships that don't work anymore. And that's where a man's going to put you in a box and you can't get out. And you certainly don't want that. But you do want a man. And so you think that, okay, I'll pretend to get in that box, but you'll die in that box. Women today want to have both sides of them. It's a masculine side and a feminine side. They want their independence. They want their dependence. They're afraid of their dependence. And the way you find, by connecting with your dependent side, your emotional side, your vulnerable side, you're going to experience interdependence.